What's up, y'all? Thank you for joining. We are starting off this week with three of my beautiful, wonderful female friends, Germona, and then we have Tiffany Elder, who's going to be joining a little bit later, and then Abeba. So for y'all, just thank you, welcome. It's What It Do Thursdays. Thank y'all for joining again. This is the fourth episode. Hey, how's it
Hey,
going?
good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
I didn't know the camera was gonna be like right there,
It's
like.
right
But
there,
I
right.
like it. I got it.
It's right all up in there.
Right, all up in here. Got
Yes,
support.
you got to be ready.
Right, right.
Yeah, so I was introducing. There's a couple of new folks um, who are joining us this week, and just want to give a little intro to What It Do Thursdays. So every Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we join on Instagram Live, and I try to invite some of my friends to highlight some of the creative work that y'all are doing. Um, the inspiration was around boredom. uh, but also, I'm a creative person, and I really
Right.
enjoy connecting with people who are creatives, hearing about the artistic and creative stuff you're working on, your business ideas, how we can put each other on, how we're helping with health and science and technology, which is what you're going to be talking about, and the
Yay.
community. So, yeah, I'm excited to have you on.
Thank you.
So,
This is
how
a
was
great
your
idea,
week?
actually.
Thank you.
I'm,
So, how
I'm
was
glad
your
that
week?
you started. um, it's been You said how was my week?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
How you
yeah.
doing?
So I work from home now. At first it was fun. Now it's just like okay,
Right.
I'm ready I'm ready to step out a little bit. um but this week has been pretty busy as far as work goes, and as far as the creative stuff goes, because I'm actually still doing shows through Zoom and Facebook Live.
Hmm.
Um so I just got done with a show Sunday. For We were supposed to be at Burning Coal Theater. It was called Ferris Creatures, and everyone did a sonnet, a Shakespeare sonnet. And then before that, I did a show that was supposed to be at Cary Players Theater, and that was called Seven Bridge Road. And it was an introduction to a bunch of different playwrights, and we basically the actors basically did a scene from those plays, and those plays will then be sent in for submission to actually have a full production next year. So I
Okay.
did that. Pretty busy, but I like it. I love it. I'm having a good time. I ain't complaining.
So, are
It
you a
could be worse.
full-time actress, or like, can you
I
give
do.
us a little bit background on yourself?
Yeah. So I have been singing and acting since I've been singing since I was like 3, and I've
Hmm.
been acting since I was like 12.
Hmm.
And I've just been doing that ever since. I went to school. I'm from Pittsburgh, PA, and I went to
Okay.
school for I'm in the health field, so that's what I got my degree in, right? Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, so I got my degree in that, did all the heavy, yucky hours that people don't want to do when they first start out. And then I've always been a creative though. I've always been an entertainer. So on the side, I was acting and singing and doing all of that. And I started to do it more. Um,
Mm.
as I've gotten to a place where I can balance out work and my entertaining, my creativity, it's become 50-50. And sometimes the acting and singing is like 70. It's like 70% of my life. I'm not a full time. I don't want to say full time because I still have my job. I still have money and bills to pay and things like that. But it's become more. I do it a lot more, like
Yeah.
all the time. So
I can
yeah,
see that because
eventually I
I've
want to become 100% though.
right. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I can see that because, like, I didn't actually start in science really, but I'm in the science field now and
Right.
work in medicine, but
Yep.
I have this like constant pull to like sing. I do singing as well. I used to act,
Yeah.
doing all the creative stuff, the event organizing, the writing, the
Yeah.
Instagram lives.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
So you can't
so
run from it. It always
I
catches you.
understand. Yeah.
It always catches you. So yeah, that's but it's fun. It's good that and I feel blessed and I'm grateful to still work and be able to have this position, a 9 to 5, where it's a little flexible. It's more flexible than the past jobs I've had, where I can actually have these two things intertwined and I can work
Mm-hmm.
them out, and it can accommodate me. So I'm actually grateful for that. But yeah, I I want to very soon be 100%
Mm-hmm.
entertaining and doing my creative things. So that's what we're pushing for. Going
What's
for.
your plan to go 100%? Like, how do you
So my
plan to do
plan
that?
was, girl, I was supposed to be in New York this month.
Oh,
Um, I was
okay.
gonna go, yeah, I was gonna go audition for some off Broadway shows.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, I was, there's still some places that do video audition video. Yeah, that was my plan, and it's still my plan. But we just
I
have to
believe
wait.
in that. I mean, I think
Yeah,
it's important, and I think there's certain times and places for things to happen, right?
yep,
And
yep,
I have
yep.
one of my best friends from high school, Dexter. If y'all look him up, Dex Rated. So when we were in high school, he was like you, where he was just like, I'm just gonna do it. I don't like.
Right,
I mean, and he's a plus size guy. He's short. He
right,
can sing, but he needed some training, and but
uh huh,
he could dance, and like he just had a passion for being creative,
right,
and so he just took the leap and moved to LA, and then started auditioning, and became this huge star.
right,
Like he performs with
right.
what's that girl's name? The one that Kanye West said she didn't deserve the award.
Oh, Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he performs with her. Like he's
Okay.
like good friends with her, and like
Yeah.
he's been on award shows, and he's gone viral a couple of times on like
Right.
Marco something Marco Pave
Uh huh.
um runway show, like plus size model walking down runway, like. So I mean,
Right.
I believe you can do it. You just gotta have that passion. You gotta have the drive
Yeah.
for it,
Yep.
and
And
figure out what your niche is.
exactly, exactly. You
Hmm.
definitely do. You have to know what your niche is, and um, during this time, you have to take advantage of things like this, because
Yeah.
when even though we don't want this to ever happen again, and it's unfortunate that this has happened, but when you are in a situation where you have to be still, and you're in your home and you have these ideas flowing and things like that, you can kind of take advantage of that to practice, to train, to look at
Yeah.
videos, to submit videos where casting directors are. This is the time, like, casting directors are really looking at videos. Like, they say they look at videos, but everybody knows
I
sometimes
mean,
they
they
don't
don't
be
have
looking at
anything else to
videos.
do,
Right,
so
they ain't got nothing
might
else
as
to do
well.
right now.
Yeah.
So they are
Yeah.
really looking at your videos. So go for those challenges and enter those competitions. And when they say, this is free, go ahead and submit your video. Do it. Do things like that and put yourself out there.
Yeah.
As far as if you're very serious about it, you don't have to, but if you're very serious about it, those are some just some good ways to get in
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
So what's this Science and Technology Foundation that you wanted to talk about? What have you started?
So
What's
Lamont
this?
Cliff Foundation for
Uh-huh.
Science and Technology is named after my father.
Mm-hmm.
My father raised me. He's still around, and I love him dearly. He raised me. That's my homie. You know what I'm saying? It's my homeboy. But I named it after him, Lamont Cliff Foundation, for Science and Technology. And I seen a niche. I seen something. I went to Southern High School in Durham,
Okay.
North Carolina, and I also went to Jordan High, and those are apples and oranges, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I noticed in this, not only in those two schools that I experienced firsthand, but in the community, the black students don't get as much
Right.
catering to when it comes to science and technology. And some of them, as far as the adolescents and teenagers go, they have one way of thinking. Some of them, one way of thinking of when it comes to science and technology, which is very bland, boring, basic, whatever. But most have an inclination for science and tech. They love it, and I've always liked technology. I've always liked it. So I seen something where I thought that since no one else would support or provide monetary support, like classroom supplies or bringing in laptops and things like that for the children, or projects for the children to actually do hands-on projects with, I thought that I would create a foundation that did that.
Yeah.
And I started this, and I had to, this is not the first time. I had to do a lot of different things. My first time really doing it, it was called it was a whole different name. It was Opus Magnum. I changed that. I changed the changed the graphics and
Got it.
everything.
Yeah. I mean,
When
as you learn and as you grow, you
yeah.
change and you.
And when I came back to Durham from Pittsburgh, because I created it in Pittsburgh while I was in college. When I came to Durham, my first place that I went was McDougal Daycare here in Durham, North Carolina. So I went there, and it was like, we did once a week. I would come and do things for the children. We would show videos about how tornadoes are created, or robots. How do machines work? So I would show them videos, and then we would do a hands-on project, and then I would ask them questions, and they are smart. And these are like two to
Yeah.
5-year-olds. Like,
So it's
not
for
that I'm
younger
surprised.
kids.
Yeah, these are little kids.
Okay.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And their attention is like they don't see nothing else. They don't hear nothing else. They're on you, and they're really interested in what you're talking about. So I was doing that for about a month to 2 months with them. And then I went back to the drawing board as far
Mm-hmm.
as my proposal, and how I was wording things, and what I really, really wanted uh, out of it, and what I really wanted people to know about it. So I did that, and I was like, okay, promo and marketing. Woo, that's gonna be fun. I paid for the new graphics and all the nice stuff, make it look good. And now I have to do a little promo and marketing. Okay, and I'm still learning that. I know more than I did know, but just recently I started something for the COVID-19, for the essential workers, where Lamont Cliff will provide two essential workers for 3 weeks, two essential workers per week for 3 weeks, lunch. Just to say thank you, just to say that we see you, we notice you, we feel you, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like
Yeah.
that. So
I've
I
started to
did
see
that.
people doing like cheering outside the hospital when staff leave. They
Yeah,
did that. I was like, wow, that's actually
that
pretty awesome.
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
you can feel that even though you may
Yeah.
not be in that position. It's like we ain't no one probably told you, but we care, and we see what you're going through. You're on the front line of this. You have to go home to your family, and sometimes you can't even do that. Sometimes you have to
Right.
go home away from your family. Your family can't be near you because you're on the front line. So I started this with the Mont Cliff Foundation called Lunches on Us, and it starts next week, where I choose two essential workers per week for the next 3 weeks, and I will provide $20 gift cards, um, to the restaurants that are, that are listed in the contest. So that's something to,
So
kind
how
of
do
push.
people donate?
So people donate. I sent something. I sent something today, and I posted it on Lamont Cliff,
Mm-hmm.
my new little page that I made for Lamont Cliff Foundation on Instagram. That's what it's called, Lamont Cliff Foundation. You can go on there and you can basically let me know, because I would have to do it through an e-card because of the corona and stuff like that. So you would let me know, hey, I think this person deserves this. Here's the name of this. Can we gift them with this? And what we would do, we would work together. And I was thinking about building a pot or a GoFundMe, but I didn't know really how that would work or how that would go over. How people would be like, oh, she collecting all this money. Is it really going to?
Okay, let me stop you right there.
So
Stop.
I was
This
like,
is what
okay,
people
wait.
do all the time. And
Yes.
okay, you are doing something amazing. I'm about to do this
Okay.
for you and for everybody
Okay.
who's listening. Because,
Yes.
oh my
Thank you.
God, stop.
Okay.
You're doing something amazing. You
Okay.
have to, you have to trust that there's so many people out here who are just looking for things to do to give back. They're stuck in their house. they
Mm-hmm.
they don't some of them know essential workers, which it would be awesome for them to be able to nominate people that they
Right.
know and are out there on the front lines. I have two line sisters who are deltas, who are nurses. They go out every single day, and they have, one of them has two children at home, right? So
Mm-hmm.
for me to be able to nominate one of my line sisters and donate to your foundation and be able to fundraise to support her, people would love to do that. So you don't talk yourself out of it. I think the
Okay.
best, so set up a cash app and make it easy for everybody to pay, right? So
Right.
set up a cash app, set up PayPal, set up Facebook. If you already have the foundation,
Uh-huh.
now people can donate on Instagram. So
Right.
set all that stuff up, make it very easy for people to donate, set up a little form for them to nominate their essential worker.
Right.
It makes people feel good. Even
Yeah.
if they can't donate money, they can nominate, because they
Right.
may not have the money right now, but they
Right.
could nominate people that they know who are out there on the front lines, and just to say thank you.
Right.
um
Right.
yeah, do it.
Knowledge. No, it
That's
makes me feel so good that you said that.
yeah.
Because I was like, okay, I don't think I'm gonna ask for this. I think I'll ask for this after, but I think I'm gonna just throw it in there. But yes, that's a great idea, and I think that would definitely, that unlocks something for me, because I can definitely do that. I have a Facebook for the page. I have an Instagram for the page.
Yeah.
So so yeah, most definitely. Okay. Okay, we're getting places. And I did kind of talk myself out of it, because I was just like, it was like me and me, like, okay, are you going to really do this? Because people may think that you are not donating the money, but it doesn't matter, because some people may
the
think that you are donating the money.
Well,
So yeah.
the way you deal with that is by actually showing picture, you have a visual
Right.
platform to show proof, right?
Right.
So you can take pictures, or ask the person who receives it to take a picture when they get their gift card or when they get their
Right.
food. And
Okay.
that's the way to show that the money was used for a good purpose.
Right. Right.
And then they continue to trust in you, but they believe they're going to donate to you because they know you, they trust you, they
Right.
believe in you, and they believe in the cause. And they also want to help their friends who are out in the front line. So,
Right. Right. Okay. Cool. Yay. I like that. But yes,
so
that's right now.
yeah. So
So
I
that's
want to
go ahead, I'm sorry.
well, and I think what also is pretty cool about your foundation, I've seen in Winston-Salem that the third grade, there's only 20% of African Americans, or 20% of students, third
Mhm.
grade students, are reading at level. So they're not even reading at a third grade level, only 20%. And I know Durham is not that far off. And so for you to have a foundation that gives opportunities for students to be able to learn, and especially now that we're like in this virtual season
Yep.
where like a lot of them don't have the internet, they don't have computers at
Yeah.
home and that kind of thing. Like really, I always have to stop myself because I'm like encouraging people probably to go bigger than they're ready for.
Right.
But I mean, why not reach out to SAS, these huge entities like SAS and IBM and other, GlaxoSmithKline, all of these people,
Yeah.
all these companies are right here and they have money to give away and they have computers and they have staff members who are experts in this and who are willing to donate their time and energy to go out to these schools and educate the students and give them opportunities. Why not?
Right, right. And that's why I said I had to like when I this isn't the like I said, this isn't the first time I had to redo a lot of things, and especially the proposal. Because when I did it, I was like 19, 20. And I thought, this is good enough. That's good. This is gonna take. And then people were telling me like, you need to change this, you need to do this. What is this? Why are you doing this? So I had to go back to the drawing board a lot of times, which is fine because I learned. But yeah, places like SAS and IBM and things like that, I do see a lot of times they are, they have these giveaways or they go and they volunteer at different schools for students who are rising seniors or rising college freshmen. And they give away these, huge scholarships and, oh, we're going to give, this class, this, and this. We'll give you iPads and stuff like that. So I want to do something like that. It doesn't have to be on that level yet, but I wanted to.
I'm over here like, why not?
Right, a scholarship.
Make it what it do. Don't make it
Matt,
what it don't. Yeah. We got a little delay. But y'all, come on, like stop talking ourselves out of doing. I mean, nobody else is going to do it. Everybody, the people. Oh, so while you got delayed a little bit, I was just saying like nobody else is going to do this stuff for our communities.
Yep.
We have to do it. So we can't talk ourselves out of it because otherwise the people who are going to take the time to reach out to SAS and IBM and GlaxoSmithKline are putting it into schools that don't really need it. Right?
Exactly.
So that's why we need you.
Yep.
And that's why we need Lamont, Mr. Lamont Cliff.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Lamont Cliff. I had the teachers tell me at McDougal, they don't even the school like they don't go on field trips, which is beyond me because we went on field trips, and these other students are going on field trips sometimes 2-3 times a year, to wherever
because the parents can pay for it.
Exactly. And these students don't get to go. These Black and brown students are here, and that the curriculum isn't the same for them either. The teacher was telling me, and the teacher was like, they don't get the money that all the other students or schools get, so they're really getting the short end of the stick. And it's not that they're not being seen because they're a part of the county, their state, you know what I mean? So they should be getting everything that their counterparts get. That's what you would think, but they're not getting it. So I seen a void and I definitely want to fill that void. It's the same thing in Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh has high schools and middle schools shutting down, especially the ones that are predominantly Black. And they're busing the children into the city, and sometimes these children can't get there because their parents have to work or they don't have a car. So it's definitely an issue that I want to remedy. So yeah, I'm gonna take your advice. I definitely like this. I like this.
That's what I'm here for.
Yes, and I'm gonna start there. But other than that, that's what Lamont Cliff Foundation for Science and Technology is. And science and technology is fun to me. It may not be fun to everybody, but it is fun. And
it's fun.
Yes, it's definitely fun. And I have ran into students, older people my age who agree, who, this is their field. They love it. They majored in it because this is what they like. So I definitely want to see this grow in a major way.
So I think, and this, I'm going to move on after
Mm-hmm.
this, but I think the other important point is that even if you're not a science and technology person, like we're both creatives, we're both artists, but
Right.
I still do science and technology. Like
Right.
it's important for all of us,
Yep.
and really to be marketable and um, employable, it's important for
Yep.
you to kind of
Oh
know
yeah.
all of the fields. So
Yep.
yeah,
And I have seen, and do y'all know how many times I've seen these actors? Like we've been doing shows. Like, how does Zoom work? How does Zoom work? I can't get in. I can't get in. So it is. It's involved. It's you will run into it. Whatever you do, I don't care what you do, you will
yeah.
run into some type of technical um, advancement to help better your job or help you work better or easier. So yeah.
So what are you doing for health and balance right now?
Health and balance. So I'm eating grapes. I'm eating
Okay.
a lot of grapes. No, but I like grapes. I love grapes. I don't know why I just been eating grapes, but
Look, it's feeding your soul right now. It's getting
I've
there.
been eating grapes, girl. But water, a lot of water intake
Yes.
in fruit. And I love avocado, so I'm just eating healthy, trying to make
Mm.
sure that I don't just bombard myself with a lot of fatty stuff and because it can get that way. You can easily get on the phone, order some DoorDash and be like, I want some Wendy's, I want some Bojangles or whatever. So I'm trying to just shop for myself when I can and make sure when I do shop for myself, I buy things that are healthy and
Yeah.
won't make my body so sluggish and lazy. I've been doing a lot of exercising in the house, sweating it up. And
Wait, so one of my friends who's on this Lux blog, she sent me this thing talking about a squat challenge, and it's like start with 20 squats and then 30 and then 40. I'm like, how we gonna do all of that?
right,
But it's
like
good. We
yeah,
should exercise. Yes,
right. The exercise. I've been seeing like the push ups and stuff. People been doing the push ups. I'm like,
or your
listen,
name. Like,
yeah,
look, my name is 7 characters. Like,
I can't. I'm not. See, I might do a little something. I'm not going. I might go up and down the steps a little bit, but I'm not.
right.
I'm not
Just
gonna do
stay
too much.
active. That's all we
Right,
need to
just
do.
stay active. Get the blood flowing. That's it. But yeah, I've been trying to make sure that my mind, I don't get cabin fever, right? So I go
Right.
out. My dad has a dog, and I call him my dog too, but he's a schnauzer, and we have a park up the street. So sometimes I'll go to my dad's house, pick the dog up, keep him for a week, because when I have him, I'll be outside. I have to go outside. There's no
Right.
way around it. So I take the dog for walks, or I walk in the park. But other than that, that's the routine for right now.
Okay.
I try not to stay in front of the computer because I work a certain amount of hours. Um, that's it. Because once they sent me home, I was like, "Oh, it is trouble, trouble." But yeah, I try to just that's the routine for now. But I try to keep it upbeat. That's why I do the directing and the acting over Zoom and things like that.
So how do people donate, and how do people follow you again?
So you can go to face to follow me. You can go to Facebook, Germona Sharp.
Mm-hmm.
It's spelled the way it's spelled on my Instagram right there. And you can follow me on Instagram, Germona. You can also follow Lamont Cliff Foundation. I'm going to put that in the in the thing below right here. Lamont Cliff Foundation, and it's spelled how I'm saying it. Lamont, it's all one word. Lamont Cliff Foundation. That's the Instagram. You can
There
also
you go.
yep, it's the same thing on Facebook. And you can donate through my Cash App. Cash App is the same thing. It's nothing special, nothing fancy, just Germona Sharp. That's
Okay.
it. It's nothing, yep, and that's I also have PayPal and I also have Venmo. And it's the same thing,
All
Germona.
right.
Sure. So,
That's what's
so I
up.
try to keep it, I try to keep it steady across the board. I don't want anybody to get confused about where to send donations and where to follow. So yeah.
Thank you. All right, I'm
No
gonna
problem.
switch over. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
All
And I'll be
right.
talking to you again too. So
Okay.
bye.
Bye. All right. So next we have Tiffany. So Tiffany is a, here we go, rebellious investor. Tiffany and I met, what, like 2 or 3 years ago. And hey, Tiff, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So I was just kind of doing a little introduction for you. So we met 2 or 3 years ago, randomly on an actual vacation. Like
We did.
we went on vacation together and didn't know each other.
And it was an amazing
It
vacation.
was
It was
one of the best
amazing.
vacations ever.
Yes. That was the
Uh,
Bella, the Gucci, the Geechee Gala trip.
yes. We
Yeah.
went on a trip to Savannah, and we did a black tour with a black tour guide. So now that's like our thing, right? Like
It
we
is.
just came back from Cartagena in early February and did the same
That
thing.
was amazing.
Went to Palenque, which is a black town with uh, uh, black people basically who've been free since the 1600s.
I think they said it's the first free black settlement in all of North and South America,
Yeah, it was so
which is
dope.
amazing. That was
So
dope.
tell us about yourself. Who are you? What you do?
Hey y'all. I'm
Okay.
Tiffany from South Side of Chicago. I am a realtor, general contractor, real estate educator. I love the teaching side of it. If I could have my way, I would like just teach and encourage folks to get into real estate and build wealth through real estate like for the rest of my life. So that's what I've been scheming on during this COVID-19 bit of a hiatus. But yeah, I'm in Durham. I do a lot of construction, historic restoration, new construction, residential, light commercial, and help people figure out the right way to own real estate. And if they want to get started in real estate investing and are not quite sure how, I love coaching folks along the way so that, they know how to get started.
So one of the this, I don't know if this is my favorite story, but one that's relevant is
Uh-oh.
we were at Dare's house for his birthday this past this past January, and I walk in the house, and where is Tiffany? Tiffany is straddling the toilet, fixing the lever because the toilet was not flushing. And I'm like, Tiffany, what are you doing?
The first thing when I walked in the door, Daria was like, "You're a contractor. Can you fix my toilet, please?"
For
And
free.
Allison came in and helped.
Yes, I did. And I figured it out too because I know what I'm doing
Teamwork.
sometimes. Yes, teamwork.
Teamwork.
So, and then, how did you get into the like, well, oh, okay, I have two things. How did you get into the wine and real estate? You do wine and real estate
Yes,
events.
we're having one tomorrow. I'm gonna tell y'all about that. So wine and real estate came about maybe a year and a half ago. Um, I would always get calls from people who would ask, "Hey, I have this deal, this property I want to buy. I'm not sure if the numbers make sense. Can you look over it, et cetera?" And I would do that. Like I would end up taking like 30, 45 minutes out of the day just because I was excited that someone was excited about a deal. They wouldn't even be my client. And then I realized after doing that a lot that I didn't have capacity to take that much time out of the day regularly to walk folks through deals. So wine and real estate actually started, I started off calling it office hours. And I
Mm-hmm.
would go post up like at the wine bar or at Unscripted and grab a bottle of wine and take my laptop and I post like, "Hey, I'll be here for these 2 hours. If you have something, come holler at your girl." And I just sit there and work. And halfway didn't expect people to show up, but folks started coming in and people would come and they would stay. And we'd end up talking real estate the whole time. And some people came and they would sit there and not really ask any questions, but they said they just wanted to come to be in an atmosphere where people were talking casually about real estate, because in our community, that's not a conversation, that's not a casual conversation that we have. Like,
Right.
a lot of people don't talk about building wealth through real estate just into wine and real estate, which was come out, have a drink with your girl. Let's talk about real estate, both owning real estate, like if you want to buy a house and you want some advice, etc. If you want to talk about how to get started in investing, if you have a deal, if you just all of the above, just come out and let's relax. You can meet some good like-minded people, and we can talk about building wealth. And
Yeah.
it grew from there, which has been kind of nice.
So, what are you working on creatively right now?
So right now, so it's funny because normally like my day is full of looking at properties and being on construction sites, and a lot of times you don't realize that you haven't had a lot of a breather. And so there's the good and the bad of what we're going through now. The good of it is it's sort of given folks a little bit of a breather to regroup and think about things and maybe redirection themselves. And so for me, knowing that I love teaching so much, I think you attended one of the classes last year at Union Member.
Yeah.
Like, I love to teach. Like, I love seeing the light bulb go off when folks are like, oh, I could do this. Like, real estate isn't rocket science. Like, I can do this too. And, I want to do more of that. So I've been working on expanding Wine and Real Estate, for one. Two, a lot of the folks at Wine and Real Estate I've had probably at least a dozen folks from Wine and Real Estate who said, you know what, I have some funds, but not enough to do like a real estate deal. I don't think I could buy a property, or I kind of don't trust myself to be the decision maker on a deal. So I've been coming up with sort of a safe way to pull a tribe together so that we can invest together, and own the
Okay.
community
So
in which we live.
how much money we got to put in?
And that's the thing. I'm trying to keep it as minimal as possible. But right now I'm researching like the SEC guidelines and all the, because I want to make sure to do it the right way.
Yeah.
So that's what a lot of times been. But I want to make it so that it's attainable. If I could tell folks $500 or $1,000 and you can be part of a deal, and we could have regular touch points every other week or every month where you hear about the deals and what's happening with them, so you're not completely passive. Like, that's my vision of what I would love to create. So that's what I'm working on. And I can definitely give you updates in a couple weeks, because I actually met with a partner of mine today, and we were sitting down like, how can we make this attainable for our community, so that it's not, so that they can earn and learn at the same time.
Yeah. Do y'all have any questions for Tiffany? So Tiffany is a self-proclaimed mogul. She got it. She got it on the back of her car. That is her license plate. She is a mogul. Okay. So, what questions do y'all have for this real estate mogul? Also, so like, what are you doing? So, this is also a cool thing that we learned while you were in Colombia. Was that you are managing a bond, affordable housing bond? What are you managing?
So if anyone on the line is in Durham, the last election, there was a $95 million housing bond that passed in Durham, because Durham has a housing shortage, which is why rents are going up and housing prices are going up, and it's getting out of hand. And, in the absence of something happening, folks are going to get pushed out because there's not going to be affordable space. So the city knew that. They passed a $95 million housing bond that's going to go to affordable housing. And when we were in Colombia, I think we were sitting at breakfast at the table, I got a text from the mayor saying, hey, can I speak with you? And I called him back. And so I am one of two folks who will be overseeing sort of management and communication and oversight for those funds. So I'm kind of excited because I feel like
Did
I
y'all catch that? She's managing $95 million. Okay, sorry. That's kind of like an inside joke, but like not really for real, y'all. Like,
that was the joke for the day when we were in Colombia, y'all. But I'm excited because like I feel like I'm tasked, like my charge, just personally me sharing, like I want to make sure everyone in our community knows how they can get in line to get the jobs that come out of it. There's
yeah.
going to be construction, there's going to be property management, there's going to be everything from top to bottom. There's going to be material suppliers that are needed, there's going to be marketing and community outreach that's needed. Like there are going to be dollars going
Oh,
out,
Lord.
and so just more.
We need to be
And so like
talking.
yes, we will. Like my role, my self-proclaimed role is going to be making sure that folks are aware, and people who are not normally at the table are aware of these opportunities, so that there can be a more diverse mix of people at the table to benefit from this $95 million that's going to be spent.
And what you just said is so important, and is the idea that it's not just about you and your opportunity, but it's about putting people on, right? And
Yeah,
that's always been my MO, and I think that energy continues to come back to me. I may not
yeah,
always have all the money I need right at the moment, or I may not know what my next step is, but I know that I was good to people and they will be good back to me, right? And so like
100%.
that energy you pour back into the community, they will pour back into you.
Yep, it
Yeah.
will. I'm looking forward to that. So anybody out there on Instagram, I am Rebellious Investor on Instagram, and I am Tiffany Elder, TiffanyElder. On Facebook, like if you or anyone you know is in the construction fields, is in any field that has anything loosely to do with real estate, please just shoot me a note, because I want to get a list going so that I can connect as many folks as possible, because that's an amazing opportunity.
So, I mean, she's got multiple things that she's listed, right? You got Wild Real Estate that's every Friday at what time?
Tomorrow it is 7 o'clock. Well, okay. I said this is the third one that we are doing. I skipped last week, but the last 2 weeks before that, I get excited. Sorry, y'all. The last 2 weeks before that, we had Wine and Real Estate, and there were maybe about 3 dozen people, just under 40 people on the line across 5 states. So it was a cool group. We talked about real estate topics, and at the end of sort of the set topic, folks just threw out questions. Like folks were any real estate related question. I reserve time at the end so folks can just do a hammer out of any questions they have in general. So it's from 7 to 8, unless folks have a ton of questions. So the first one went maybe an hour, 15 minutes. The last one went 2 hours, and everyone stayed on the line pretty much the entire time, because there were some really good questions that came
Yeah.
from it. So tomorrow, the topic is, we're going to answer 2 questions. One, if you've never bought a home and you want to own a home and you want to be a real estate investor, but cash is limited. Like it doesn't necessarily have to be either or, but to start, it probably does. How should you get started? Like, what's the best way to get started if you want to own a property, but you also want to have an eye to investing down the line? And then the second question is, if you already own a home, but you don't really have enough extra cash to go buy an investment property, how can you become an investor in other ways if you're already a homeowner and have limited extra cash? So
Yeah.
that's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. And then we're going to answer any general questions that folks have. And then next week, I'm going to cover 15 ways to finance your deal. Like, there are a ton of ways to finance deals. I have folks, 2 of my colleagues coming on the line who've done creative finance deals and have bought properties in creative ways that you wouldn't even imagine. So they're going to come on and share. So we're going to talk about, look, if you want to be an investor, don't let money be the reason why you don't.
Mm-hmm.
So the next 2 weeks are going to cover all of the above. So hopefully, if you're free, join me tomorrow at 7. And the info is on Facebook, and I posted it on Instagram. It's a Zoom
Yeah.
conference.
I've learned so much from Tiffany, just being around her, listening to her conversations. She is very knowledgeable. That's what got
Thank
me
you.
interested in investing and like thinking about building wealth. So y'all definitely join. It's free. I mean, what else do y'all have to do but sit
Right.
here and learn about investing? I mean,
And it's wine and real estate, so the rule is you have to grab your favorite drink before you log in.
so I don't really drink that much, but yes, I may grab a glass for you. All right, love. So you got some wine right there. I drink tea. Well, okay, so I'm gonna have to switch over because I want to keep in the time limit because I'm always going over. But thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for joining. I
Thank
love
you.
you.
Love you, girl. Bye.
All right, Abeba, let's go. You ready, girl? Abeba is a TV producer in Florida. She used to produce for ABC 11 in Raleigh, Durham. She used to be a radio DJ. Come on, Choice FM. And then she's showing up with her own Instagram show called Buzz with Abeba. What's up?
Yes, hype me up. I love the way you hype me up all the time. I
How
love
you
it.
doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Oh, and she used to be a writer for the Lux blog. Shout out to the
For
Lux blog.
sure. That was a lot of fun.
Oops, I
Where'd you
switched the
go?
camera.
Oh.
My bad.
Wait, where did she go?
I'm over here trying to wave at people, and then I switched the camera. Excuse me. Girl, sit down.
What's up, Allison?
How are you?
I'm doing well, maintaining.
Maintaining.
This whole thing is a change and a shift for everybody, so
Right.
just hanging in there.
So tell me about your trip to Ethiopia. How was that?
Oh my God. So trip was great. I was in Ethiopia for 2 weeks.
Uh-huh.
First week was really cool, but the second week, can I cuss?
You can. I have my parents who watch this, but it's
Okay,
all
never mind.
good.
We're not gonna do that then. So, I mean, it just hit the fan with the coronavirus stuff, and so the second week was really tough because I couldn't really move about in the city as much as I really wanted to. So yeah, so the second week I would say was really hard, and then trying to get out of the country was even harder because they canceled my transit flight from Dubai to DC.
Mm-hmm.
And they said they sent me an email, but I don't have Wi-Fi like that in Ethiopia because I'm not balling like that in Ethiopia. So they're like, "Oh, we sent you an email," and I was like, "You guys sent it the night before. Like, I'm not gonna get the email, obviously."
Right.
So they said, "Oh, we sent you an email. Your flight is canceled. You can't board a flight. You can't leave the country." I said, I was there like arguing with them for like a good hour, if not an hour and a half, trying to get a flight out of Ethiopia. They finally found me a flight from Chicago.
Wow.
I had to like fly to. I had a 15-hour layover in Dubai, flew to Chicago, took another flight. So it was a journey. It was a journey getting back to
Look,
America.
I was on Instagram, like whatever the video chat with. I was like, "Don't come back, girl. Stay in Africa."
I know you were telling me. Oh my gosh!
I'm glad you're safe, though.
If I didn't have a job or if I didn't have anything to come back to, obviously I would have just stayed. But it was just such a risk staying
Yeah.
because now they're requiring anybody coming into the country to stay at a hotel for 14 days.
Wow.
If you can't afford a hotel, I think they have like they put you in public high schools or something like that.
Yeah, just quarantining people.
Yeah.
They're talking about y'all can't come over here. We don't want y'all.
Right. And the other thing I was thinking was I wasn't stuck in Dubai, but I was just thinking if I didn't have a flight to go back to America, if they just like all of a sudden cancel my flight, I was thinking about going back to Ethiopia, but I would have had to stay at a hotel for 14 days. Yeah. So we're back.
Back. So what are you working on creatively?
Creatively, I'm working on my job. That's my main focus.
I mean, your job is creative, so
yes. My job is being a creator every day. First year is super intensive, so I am putting all of my energy into that right now.
So what is your job? How'd you get into it?
So I am a news producer. It feels so weird saying.
It's so
So
fancy.
yeah. So I got into I got into the media field while I was living in Greenville, North Carolina. I found a radio station in Raleigh. So I would commute from Greenville to Raleigh like 3-4 times a week. And then they gave me an on-air position, which was super dope. And then after that, I found a position at a local news station, and I got hooked on news. And I had to give one up because I was juggling school and 2 jobs, so I gave up the radio gig for news. And yeah, so I went to this convention, that NABJ, National Association of Black Journalists, and I interviewed with a company there and a radio, a news station there in Florida. And I remember calling you. That's so funny because I called you immediately after I found out about the position.
Yeah, and you were
they
like,
called me.
I think I have a job. You know, it's like, why are you not more excited?
I was like, Allison, it's in Florida. And you said, so? I was like, Florida's far away. So? It's like, girl, you better go.
You better take that job, girl.
Yeah.
So, what's the craziest story that you've seen so far that you've had to produce?
Oh, man. I guess the Floridaman stories.
Floridaman.
I mean, I didn't believe the Floridaman stuff until I moved down here. I saw one story. I didn't actually produce it. I was on web duty that day. But this Florida man was going from house to house licking toes.
Ah!
There was a toe perpetrator in Florida, and
what's up with Florida? Why are people
it.
doing that? Like, I don't understand.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, why are you licking random toes? Yeah, and then one of the victims, they just woke up, and there's like they felt something wet in between their toes. Oh yeah, and then another person allegedly, because I don't want to get anybody in trouble, allegedly. This old woman woke up and she felt something. She was at the hospital, so she was telling the police, "Oh, I woke up, and I felt something wet in between my toes." And she woke up and saw, this is a completely different toe perpetrator, by the way, alleged toe perpetrator. So she said that the person who was taking care of her at the hospital was licking her toes. And so he came out, trying to clear his name, and he said, I wasn't looking at her toes, I was looking for my phone, or I dropped something on the floor.
I was looking for my phone, and my mouth just slipped on her toes.
So it quickly turned into like a he says, she says situation. And I was just like, this is freaking weird.
That's Florida. What's up with Florida?
Yeah.
Florida man fell. His mouth fell on her toes.
I'm telling you. Sometimes I'm just like,
wow,
interesting. So it's definitely, and they have python bowls.
What's that?
So python, long snake. So it's like a competition every year, and people go around trying to catch like the longest python or something.
People are bored.
I wouldn't say bored. I mean, the first thing that I noticed down here is that people are very wildlife-y. They love insects, bugs. I mean, I remember one time, I'm not afraid to admit it, a snake is a snake to me. I don't know, supposedly, like, if they have, like, different stripes or different colors, they're poisonous or something. I didn't know the difference, and the snake was like red and black with like a little yellow in it, and I just posted a picture of a snake that looked similar to the poisonous snake in the story, and people came at me. Y'all are dumb, and y'all are stupid, that's not the poisonous snake, that's the non-poisonous snake one. I'm just like, okay. So like for me, it's been an adjustment on that, and I have to learn about wildlifey stuff.
Right. Wow, that's funny.
Yeah.
So, what have you seen in pop culture that's like? Okay, we only have 2 minutes. So 1 minute.
Okay.
What have you seen in pop culture that's funny so far or interesting?
What have I seen in pop culture? What was I talking about? Honestly, I don't know. I've been so far removed from pop culture because
Why is everybody far removed from pop culture?
I don't know, because like I've been so like in the news so much because of my job. I don't even have time to. Because like it was easier in radio because I had to pay attention to this stuff. It's radio, it's hip hop. But now I'm just like, I don't know. I guess Offset and his baby mamas.
What?
If we're talking about the last thing that I watched on YouTube was Offset, something about one of his baby mamas, and Cardi B coming after. Anyway.
Oh my God! Wow.
That's probably the funniest thing.
So we have 56 seconds left. So I'm going to wrap this up. I want to thank y'all for joining What It Do Thursdays. We join we're on Instagram every Thursday at 8 p.m. Central Time. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I got some folks in Texas. The origin of What It Do is from Paul Wall. What It Do was Paul Willikin, fly like a pelican. Inside my skin, I got a Versace skeleton. So just want to thank y'all again. Every week we're here. I'm trying to highlight different people talking about health, business, and pop culture. So, foi religion. Love y'all.
Bye, Allison.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.